We've had a 1 week off, and now we start the real season, which I call the real season because it's the conference season. And everything from here out counts. We're going to make it a 1-game season. Our preparation during the off week was about fundamentals and about technique. We know as we approach this season that this new season, as we want to call it, is so critical that we don't lose our focus and we maintain our preparation week in and week out. We know this is a very competitive conference, and each week anyone can win. It's all about just preparation. It's all about making sure that your team is prepared to go play. And we just know how critical it's going to be. But you see how comfortable it is, week in and week out, you just knowing that right now you have to be prepared to go play.
You talk about the landscape of the Big East right now. You've got you in the polls, Cincinnati, Rutgers, they've all come up. You've got 3 teams that really seem to be separating themselves.
Well, what has happened, we haven't had a chance to go play no conference games yet, but we're ranked fairly high in the polls. And you look at Rutgers is 2-0 right now in the conference. Cincinnati is 1-0 in the conference, but you have 3 teams that are undefeated. So as we prepare to go down that road, we have to know this, that we have to be prepared to get ready to go play.
What's your read on Pitt? At times they've looked, really they blew out Virginia Tech, struggled. What do you expect to see out of them on Saturday?
Well, you watch them early in the season. I think that anytime you have a coaching change, kind of like where we were a few years ago, you're just really trying to find your team. And then you look at what they try to do just offensively. Now I think they really sunk in and what they really want to do is trying to run the football with the back that they have, with the quarterback, play action, get the ball down the field. But you watch them against Virginia Tech, scored a lot of points, moved the ball fairly well. And then you watch the Syracuse game, had a chance to go win that football game. They had their opportunities and just didn't take advantage of it.
What do you like about your team right now, and what are some of the areas that you feel like you need to make improvement on to fulfill some of the goals you have?
Well, you look at us offensively, we have played fairly well down the stretch, and we've been able to move the football. I still like the way our receivers are continuing to compete. Our offensive line is blocking and moving people out of the way line. Our running backs to run the ball. When you look at Sonoris Perry, look at Jeremy Wright, and then the quarterback is so poised right now. Started off hot, but still, we can really improve. And defensively, we have to get better on defense. You're going to win games with defense, and we know that down the stretch here. So defensively, we have some ways to go, but we're looking just each week and just day in and day out to work on our fundamentals and technique of improvement.
What's the status of John Miller at this point?
John, we ran him around some on yesterday, and then so today we're off, so we'll be able to get him in tomorrow, see if he's ready to go. If he can move around, we're going to take him, and then we still have a week to get him prepared.
In terms of injuries with the week off, did you see anybody come back? And I guess what is the injury report at this point?
Well, John Miller and Burgess are the only 2 that has played that we need to continue to play. But as far as anyone else, I'm just thinking just the guys that have, who's that?
Daniel Brown.
Daniel Brown is out also.
And then how about Dominique? Do we have any progress with him, or what are we thinking?
No, what I'd like to do with Dominique right now is that the 2 backs that we are playing, that we're going to continue to play them, and if something was to happen, Dominique will be made available.
You're one of a dozen teams, give or take, left that are unbeaten. What does it take to be unbeaten, to stay unbeaten? I mean, it obviously makes you stand out. How challenging is that, and do you talk to your team about that? What do you say?
Well, it's very challenging to continue to stay unbeaten. You're right, we're just one of the few teams that are unbeaten. But still, what's key for us is just take each game just week in and week out, and don't look down the road, and just make sure that it becomes a 1-game season. And we make it a 1-game season, and then we go in and our focus is there, then we're going to have a chance to continue down that road.
Charlie, is Ray Graham back to, after his injury, is he back to how effective and, explosive he was before that knee injury?
Well, anytime you go down with a knee, especially at that position, it's really tough to get back. And he probably isn't running the ball as well as he was before he got injured. But it's always tough when it's a knee.
What has it been about the Pittsburgh games that have been, I guess, so tough for Louisville in recent years?
It has. You look at our first year here, we go up there and we lose, 21-3 or whatever, 20-something to 3. And then last year we get beat. But it's all about, you look at last year's game, we win, I can't remember, we won 2, and then we go and lose that game. Then we had to go beat Connecticut and South Florida at the end. But we got to know what we're up against, and we have to make sure that when we go in as a football team that we have to be prepared to go play that game, and we haven't been as locked in with that game.
When you lose to somebody like that several years in a row, is there a mindset that needs to change in the locker room? Is there anything that you need to work on mentally going into it?
Well, it's only been 2 years, so I don't know if it's a mindset. If you look at us, the last 12 games, I think we're 10-2, so I think our guys know how to prepare and go win football games.
For this team to have lost to them before, like last year even, is that, in a weird way, a good thing for this year's team so they don't start feeling good about themselves? They're, 16th and 5-0 and all that.
Well, what you had to look at now, it's all about the conference race, and so that's what's critical right now. And I know it's Pittsburgh, but still it's the conference race that's what's standing there in front of us. So we have to make sure that we don't want to slip. It's our first conference game. It's on the road, so we need to go play well.
The last 2 conference games have been night starts where you essentially sit around, have to kind of manage your time earlier in the day before you play, but now the 11 o'clock start, how will you manage that? What will change in terms of just your activities?
With the game starting at 11 o'clock, it's going to be an early rise, so we get up early, and this time when you get up, you don't have much time at all. It's time to go play the football game, which is good. I like that. I like getting up. I think that the game's at 11, so you eat at 7:30. We usually do a little meeting before, so we'll get up probably around 6 o'clock, 6:15. We'll do a walk. We'll have a walkthrough. We'll do a kick and walkthrough, then go change, get ready, eat our breakfast, and then it's time to go play the game.
Is there such a thing as a personality on this team? If you had to characterize the way these guys are, whether it's hungry or learning or young, is there such a thing as a personality? And if so, what is it?
Well, our theme right now is just to stay hungry, stay humble. It's our whole theme right now, just stay hungry, stay humble. And if we just stick with that theme, then we feel like they're within this team, then that's the personality that we're trying to draw. Just stay hungry, stay humble.
2 weeks ago it was headsets, or 3 weeks ago it was headsets. 2 weeks ago you were playing a monsoon. How weird has this road trip been for you guys?
Well, this is our last one. You feel like you've been away from home forever, but we're going on this game is what would be a month on the road. But I just hope we get good weather and then nothing happens and we're able to just go function and go play this football game. But if we have to adapt, it's what it's all about. You have to adapt.
Since you've been evaluating your team with weird conditions like that, I mean, how do you evaluate how you guys have played the last couple of games?
No, because I look at the Southern Miss game. We're down 11 in a monsoon, and never once did I thought that we was going to lose that game. I said once we get it back together, we get a score before half. We got the score before half, and then I said the second half we'll come back out, we'll play better on defense, and we'll get this game back under control. And then you go down to FIU. What you had to deal with at FIU was just so many players from South Florida. And I just think that just them going there, they really wanted to play well and didn't turn out the way we thought it would. But still, we had to just battle that. And it's all about just adapting on the road and playing. And a lot of times you may not play your best, but you play good enough to go win the football game.
With what you just talked about, a week off, monsoon game, strange environment game, do you sense an eagerness to, we really want to get out and show our stuff?
Well, it's just that they've been off for a week now, so it's time to go play. And I think that you get tired of banging one another, especially once you get into the season, because you're just used to week in and week out getting prepared to go play someone else. And with this being a conference game and just being the start of the conference for us, which is a new season for us, is going to be critical.
Back to that Southern Miss game, Jeremy Red has that fumble, and it kind of looked like a switch went off with your defense. Very aggressive, attacking. Can that carry over with the bye week, and how do you get that to carry over?
Well, you like for them to continue to play well the way we played in the second half. But even with Jeremy's fumble, you felt like it was, I think he fumbled that ball and there's maybe, 10 to 12 minutes left in the game. So you said, hey, we're going to still get plenty more opportunities, go stop them on defense. But even in that game, Nate North probably made the tackle of the game because he gets them down. Because if he doesn't go score, I think it's going to be 24-13 or 24-15 or whatever at that time. So we get him on the ground, and then defensively kind of came alive, and then we start blitzing a little more and making them adapt to us.
Your
and putting
schedule,
pressure on them.
I'm sorry, your schedule has been criticized. Let's think hypothetically. In your mind, what would be a perfect schedule for you that would give you a chance to do whatever it is you want to do?
But I don't, as far as schedule, I don't know what it is, because if you look at it, if we played a Southeastern Conference team in Kentucky, we played a ACC school in North Carolina, and then you go play Southern Miss, you play FIU, so now we get into our conference.
Would you rather have a tougher schedule? Would you like to have someone that could define your team?
I always say this to our team, I don't care who we play. I really don't. It's, somebody wants to play us, just, we'll put them on the schedule. We have room to play them, but we will play them. It doesn't matter to us who we play. But, you know, we in the Big East, so we have to play that schedule.
You've gone against a lot of spread offense teams. This is more of a pro style. Or what can that change in terms of your defense?
Well, when you look at it now, which just this is such a conventional offense, and the thing about this offense is they line up and they say, here we are, so it's more of you're going to line up and we're just going to run right at you. So now can you stop us, or you're good enough to go and tackle this running back and get him down? So there is no spread now. They just, you know, put our hand in the dirt, just come right off and hit you in the mouth.
Do you like that?
I like that.
The big plays on defense are down a little, the sacks, the interceptions. What can you do to, is that just, what has caused the drop off in your opinion?
Well, I look at it now, and you know, you're 5 games into it, so you still have 7 games left, so you still have a lot of chances to get the sacks and the turnovers and just the defensive stats. We just know this. We still have to improve and get better on defense, but you have a chance to go get the. I mean, it's still out there. We got 7 games to go play.
Charlie, was there much time spent on Pitt in the off week, or was it more getting back to fundamentals?
No, we did a combination of both. We spent time on Pitt, and then we spent time on fundamentals and technique, because you're going to get the first part of the practice schedule is going to be on the fundamentals and technique, then the second part is going to be on Pitt.
What's your experience going up against Paul Chris?
I've never went up against Paul, because when he was at Wisconsin, you know, where he's in the Southeastern Conference, so I never had a chance. But just to watch, you know, a very disciplined football team, and then, you know, lose that game, but they played well against Virginia Tech. So it's kind of, you know, you look at it, it's kind of where we were. You look at us a year ago, we were 2-4 sitting at this stage. They're 2-3. So you're trying to look for bowl games, and at that time we were trying to find 4 bowl games to go win. So, you know, you're just looking at it like they're kind of in a position we were a year ago.
Sean Watson and Joe Rudolph worked together previously. Is that a connection that you can kind of glean anything from?
I didn't know. I mean, I don't know Joe, so I have no idea.
Do you personally feel kind of lost when you have a weekend without a game, or do you just watch more football, or what do you do?
What I do, well, you know, right now my calf muscles are sore because I have a cystic fibrosis run out here on Saturday. Wow, that wore me out. Stein ran with me, but it's no, those weekends off, it just gives you some time to just catch your breath, and you know, you got the stretch coming, so it's good with our coaching staff to give them some time off also.
Charlie, it seems like tackling nationwide, it's not as sharp as, you know, years past. Does that have anything to do with just a renewed emphasis on, you know, not leading with the head, fewer head-to-head kind of collisions, that kind of thing? Like, are defenders maybe even thinking too much on how to hit before they hit?
No, I don't think that's an issue. Guys just missing tackles. I mean, you just go over and wrap a guy up and get him on the ground, and that's what's not happening right now. I mean, that's what happens with us a lot of times. Because I always tell them in a rain game, like when we play the Southern Miss, just go and undercut the guy, because he can't cut. So if he can't cut, he has nowhere to go. So just get him on the ground. But a lot of times guys try to make big hits. So when you try to make a big hit, then that's when the backs, a running back, his job is to run through tackles, and that's what we tell our guys. So the receiver, running backs run through the tackle. But I don't think it has anything to do with it. You know, they're protecting the head with the head, which is great, because they're looking at making sure that the players are protected. But still, though, I don't think it has anything to do with it.
Who would you say is your defensive leader right now?
I would say probably Preston Brown and Akeem Smith are 2 defensive leaders.
Has it been weird being the only team that hasn't played a conference game?
Oh, it is. I mean, because you look at it, I always think, you know, I always like to say, hey, like second, third game, if we could make it available, go play a conference game then, and you get one out of the way early. But, you know, now you go down the stretch, each game's got 7 games left, and they're all conference games. So it is kind of different. When you don't play 5 now, all of a sudden you go play 7, and they're all conference.
Have you had a chance to look at the league and how it stacks up now, maybe how you thought it was going to stack up in August?
No, because you look at it, you get a chance to watch some of the teams like Rutgers is playing well right now. You know, Temple go and beat South Florida, so you look at a team that is very comfortable, and they were actually in Philadelphia when they got beat South Florida. So it's so tough to go on the road, and that's what we had to make sure that we have our focus there when we're on the road. All right, thank you, sir.